The vanishing of Mike Marcum in early 1995. Mike Marcum, a 21-year-old student majoring in electrical engineering, had a strong desire to construct a time machine behind his residence in Stanberry, Missouri. With limited resources at his disposal, he resorted to utilizing whatever materials he could procure. Mike's desperation to create a time machine stemmed from his aspiration to obtain the winning numbers for future lotteries. Employing a compact disc laser, he aimed to minimize air resistance between two poles, resulting in the generation of a continuous arc. However, in the process, Mike encountered a circular heat mark resembling a vortex, prompting him to experiment by throwing in a sheet metal screw. Astonishingly, Mike claimed that the screw vanished and reappeared a few meters away after a few seconds. Despite the intriguing outcome, Mike faced a predicament. The CD laser required more power than what he had utilized, ultimately leading to it catching fire during further testing. Undeterred, Mike resolved to construct another time machine, necessitating the acquisition of large transformers. While the ideal course of action would have been purchasing new transformers, they proved prohibitively expensive for Mike. Driven by his unwavering determination to build the time machine at all costs, he resorted to stealing 6 hefty transformers from a local facility. The manner in which he successfully transported these 300-pound transformers remains a perplexing mystery. However, Mike accomplished the feat. Regrettably, his experiments yielded unsatisfactory results, culminating in a major blackout in his neighborhood. In the wake of this incident, the police arrived at Mike's residence armed with an arrest warrant for the theft of the transformers. During his trial, Mike divulged details about his clandestine project, conducted unbeknownst to the public, expressing his desire to transition to public experimentation. Upon hearing Mike's testimony, the judge concluded that he suffered from mental impairment, consequently sentencing him to the minimal required time. Mike spent 2 months in jail, but his story garnered significant attention outside, capturing the interest of many individuals. Following his release, Art Bell reached out to him, inviting him as a guest on his radio show, Coast to Coast AM. During the interview, Mike stated that he no longer intended to construct the time machine illegally and sought financial assistance. Subsequently, numerous people extended their support, contributing resources and funds to help Mike realize his goal. Despite Art Bell's attempts to dissuade him, Mike remained resolute, earning him the moniker Madman bestowed upon him by Art Bell. Surprisingly, Mike embraced this epithet and rapidly gained popularity. Nevertheless, he faced incessant trolling, with people dismissing the time machine as nothing more than a joke. Gradually, news surrounding Mike and his machine faded into obscurity until years later when a listener of Coast to Coast AM phoned in, inquiring about Mike and his machine. Art Bell promised to investigate by contacting Mike's designated contact, yet all attempts to reach him proved futile. It was then that Art Bell discovered no one had managed to establish contact with Mike since 1997. According to Mike's friends, the last they heard from him was when he mentioned undertaking one final experiment. Intrigued by his story, people began calling Coast to Coast AM to share their encounters with Mike prior to his disappearance. Towards the end of one show, a caller shared a chilling revelation regarding Mike's vanishing. The caller suggested that in the 1930s, police discovered a body on a California beach, seemingly crushed by a metallic tube. The police failed to identify the corpse, but recovered a peculiar metallic object resembling a cell phone from the individual. Let us now journey back in time to Mike's last appearance on Coast to Coast AM. Art Bell asked Mike what he would take with him if he managed to achieve his objective of utilizing the time machine. Mike replied that he would bring his cell phone back to the 1930s. The similarity between the body found on the beach and Mike's physique arose from the metallic object resembling a mobile phone, a technology not yet mass-produced during that era. Furthermore, Mike had confided in Art Bell about his intention to travel back with his cell phone. This led to widespread speculation that Mike had traveled to the past and perished there since his disappearance. In the aftermath of Mike's vanishing, numerous stories emerged, including one suggesting that he relocated to Hawaii due to financial difficulties. According to this account, Mike presently works in Hawaii to accumulate more funds before returning to the mainland to recommence his experiments.